Beletahunter Productions Publishing. Book Club Recommendations and Excerpt Reading. Today's agenda will include a brief welcome, an agenda description of the platform, a presentation of the book title, a brief description of the book's genre, the book description, an excerpt reading from the author, a summary, Q&A wrap-up. Welcome to Beletahunter Productions Publishing. My name is Tanya Hunter. I'm the one facilitating this learning today, as well as the one reading the excerpts. I hope that you enjoy this presentation. Thank you. I routinely make book recommendations for reading. I always like to recommend the books that I've written for you to read. However, I often do other books as well. But for this platform today, it will be a book that I have written. I will do an excerpt reading from the book. I will give you the title and description for that book, as well as your options for purchasing the book if you care to do so. Thank you, and I hope you enjoy. Today's book title is Got Job? I Pity the Boob. Written and published February 2018. Author Tanya Hunter. This book, of course, is a work of nonfiction. It is under the self-help category. In this book, I will attempt to share with you the things that I have learned over the years about life and how to have exactly what you want. This book offers ideas and tips that will help you on your journey to finding that perfect job, if that is what you still want. This book will also explore some benefits of not having a job. What does it mean to be employed? To be employed means that a person has agreed to provide services to someone else for some sort of pay or compensation, usually money. There are several types of employment, such as full time, part time, salaried, hourly, or for a job or specific duty. To be considered gainfully employed, a person must have regular work that earns enough money to sustain his or her lifestyle. Most people stay employed with the same company for a number of years. Some even stay on the same job for his or her entire life with the same industry. Some employment is based on supply and demand. A person can usually work as long as he or she wants or as long as he or she is available and the company is still paying. As long as a person is pulling in a regular paycheck for a period of time for supplying a service or a duty, he or she can consider themselves employed. Some employment is temporary and others are considered permanent. A permanent employment means that work is available and guaranteed, but nothing is really guaranteed. Therefore, a permanent position is not really permanent. It is no more permanent than a temporary job that lasts a very long time. Employed individuals usually work at a location that is determined by the employee or the employer, and that location is usually the same day after day. An employed person is usually governed by a set of rules and have to report to work at a specific time, usually also governed by their employer. Being employed usually means that a person shows up to give away his or her time and services at the same time, at the same place, with the same people, for the same pay every day. 131 million people in this country consider themselves working at least 32 hours per week. There is another category of employed referred to as self employed. This individual works for him or herself. Other types of employment may include freelance, subcontracting. Individuals who are self employed, subcontractors, or freelance workers seem to be the most fulfilled people. They do not have to worry about having someone else tell them when, the where, and the how. Those decisions are made by the individual and not by an employer or a boss. More and more people are realizing that being employed may be restrictive. Reports about jobs. The jobs and employment prospects are always conflicting. Some reports indicate that the labor market is on the rise, whereas other reports say that there is a decline in the job and jobs availability. If you really want a job, get one. Turn your life around by finding a job, and the laws of attraction will attract more jobs to you. You will appear more workable if you are working. Then the jobs you want will come. Are human beings supposed to have a job? Some may say that it is honorable to have a job. It teaches discipline. Others may say that a person who does not work should not eat. Some say having a job is an endless hamster wheel where we go to work to pay for the things we need, and then we have to go to work again to pay for the things we need. You usually have to request to be off if you want to be absent for the day, whereas working for yourself or working as a day laborer allows you to set your own schedule. One of the benefits of not having a job but still doing work is that you can set your own hours. You can set your own price and you can set your own working environment and conditions. When I was a per diem and a subcontractor, I set my hours around the kids' school schedule, my birthdays, without having to ask for permission. I can write all day about the benefits of not having a job, and I am sure that you can come up with several reasons yourself. Below is just a few obviously reasons that one may find benefits of not having a job. One, you would have time to spend with your family. We have to take and make time to spend with the ones we love. It is like making an appointment to see the dentist or schedule a special event. Spending time with family should not be an afterthought. Your family should be a priority. You should not schedule your family around your life, but schedule your life around your family instead. It sounds strange to me when I hear people say that they have to make time for their family. I look at them and tell them that they have it all backwards. We are so busy with our life that we never have time to do anything else. Working Monday through Friday is so exhausting because the weekend is filled with doing other kinds of work that leaves little to no time to spend with family too. Friday night rolls into Saturday, and that rolls into Sunday, and it rolls right back into Monday again. It never ends. It is a shame that we have to wait until a major holiday or a wedding to see our family. Sometimes we wait until there's a tragedy like a funeral to see our families. This is ridiculous. I have spoken with people who have not had a face to face conversation with people that they live in the same house as they do. One person told me that she found out information on social media about her daughter that she wished she had told her about first. But because she was so busy working and trying to take care of the bills, she was not available when her daughter needed her. There has to be a balance. There has to be a way that everyone can figure out how to earn money without having a job. Not having a job will free up time to spend with family. Money can be earned by doing things when the family is sleeping, visiting relatives, or otherwise busy. I can give you one example of this. When my children were visiting a distant relative for a week, I did some per diem work for the entire time that they were gone. A friend of mine wanted me to go out and have fun. At first, At first, I was going to go with her, but then I explained to her that I would rather work while the kids were gone so I didn't have to work when the kids were back home and that I could spend time with them. I managed to work 16 hours each day that the children were gone, earning enough money for those 7 days to pay my bills for the next 2 months. Another reason why it is beneficial to not having a job is to travel. Not having a job will allow you time to travel and visit areas for sightseeing. This exploration of the world will brighten one's horizon and explore and their exposure to things that a person may not have the option to do if restricted by a job. There are so many places that I have not visited, and I know that I would have done so when I was younger. But my thought processes would have been different. Other cultures offer so much. So being able to visit other places has changed my life so much. I know that I would not have been able to travel as much if I was working Monday through Friday every week. I get to meet new people, I get to visit new places. I get to see the wonders of the world. Some people think that it is a fantasy to be able to quit your job and to travel. However, the fantasy can become a reality with a little thought and a lot of planning. Like I mentioned before, you can still work, just don't have a job. Work when you want to work, just when you think you need the money, just like a seasonal worker does. There are people that work during certain months of the year and enjoy themselves the other months. There are people who do landscaping during certain seasons and rest the other seasons. I know people who only work during winter at ski resorts or plowing snow. They make enough money during the season and are able to relax during the other seasons. I can use teaching school as an option too. I was once offered a 9-month contract at a local technical college to teach a couple of classes. That gave me 3 months to take vacation and travel. Traveling doesn't have to be done for relaxation. Travel can be done for exploration. As I mentioned before, I did it for exposure and awareness of how others lived. Traveling can be done as a learning experience, and you can also make money while traveling. Yes, your trip or vacation can be used to generate money. You can even document your trip, take pictures, and sell them to a magazine or write an article about your experience. You can do some freelance work while abroad, too. I knew a person who bartended while they were on an island. He was making money while still enjoying himself. Sometimes taking a trip may make a person more marketable in the workplace once they return from their vacation, or may inspire someone else to start his or own business. So, see, it can be done. It just may take some imagination and planning. One last reason I'm going to mention here is time to spend with yourself. We spend all our time either at work, on the texting or the phone, or on the computer surfing the net, or on the computer social media account. We never take the time to sit quietly alone and see what the universe is trying to tell us. Spending time alone allows the mind to rest and to seek clarity. The brain gets an opportunity to reboot and to recharge. Spending time with oneself helps us see ourselves the way we really are. Sometimes we are so caught up into what we are doing, we lose sense of self. We cannot see ourselves clearly because we are so inundated with so many distractions in our daily lives. We do not see ourselves the way other people see us. Spending time alone helps us realize how we really are. We get to see that, yes, we are really that boring. Or we may see that we are selfish or bossy or controlling. Spending time with myself helps me to think deeply. I get to think about my situation and make decisions with a clear mind. I get to think over past decisions and evaluate the outcomes to see if I need to reinvent an idea or reinvent myself. Spending time with myself, fellowshipping with the universe, helped me to look around and appreciate what I already had. It made me grateful for my family and grateful for my life. So, quit gracefully. Not. I was speaking to a friend of mine about my day at work. I was so flustered that one of my coworkers phoned in and stated that he quit. I was upset because he didn't give a notice and I felt that he was very unprofessional. We were scrambling around trying to get our work done, being short staffed, and we were all mad. A friend looked at me and said he could not understand why I was so upset. He said that the job would not have given him notice if they were ready to quit him. So why doesn't the guy have the same right? That conversation got me to thinking, and the more I thought about it, the more I decided to look into it. Most states are at will states, meaning that they can fire you at any time for any reason. Yet, this and most organizations require you to give them notice before you quit or fire them. Where is the reciprocity? It is courteous to notify your employer that you are not going to be there, and giving them notice gives them time to find a replacement or plan for your absence. However, I have spoken with people who have gotten fired or laid off, and they stated to me that they would have appreciated being notified and if they were giving a notice that they were being let go. They said that they would have liked to know in advance so they could have at least notified their spouse that the money will soon be limited or cut off. They stated that they would have at least looked for another job or accepted a job offer that they had but turned it down because they were happy with the job that they had. They stated to me that they would not have bought the new car or a larger home if they knew that they were going to be unemployed. They stated that they would not have taken that lavish anniversary vacation, but would have kept the money in the bank if they knew that they were going to be fired. They stated that they would not have let their spouse quit her job if they knew that they were going to be laid off. So, how is that fair? Why am I required to give a large company that can survive without me a notice when that same large company is not required to give me a notice when they know that I cannot survive without a job or a way to support my family? Where is my courtesy and reward for staying at your company, putting up with you? Some may say that the organization has the right to quit a person if they feel that that person is not performing up to their obligation. Well, the same should go with the individual that may feel that that job has changed over the years. The hours may have become longer, and more duties may have been assigned without compensation. I personally think that a person should not be expected to give a notice if they choose not to. Tell them that you meant to tell them 2 weeks ago, but you forgot. My bad. A comedian once said 2 weeks notice, okay? Notice for the next 2 weeks that I ain't here. So be aware of that counter offer of the offer to try to make you stay. If you are thinking about it and it's time to go, forget waiting until you start getting depressed. Sunday night because you know that the next day is Monday. Forget waiting until you dread your job or hate all your coworkers. Forget waiting until your job environment has become so stressful and that you are losing your hair or losing your sleep. Forget waiting and putting up with a hostile boss who seems to be a bully. Quitting a job can be risky, but your happiness and peace of mind is more important. So don't feel guilty about leaving. No one will make you feel guilty about leaving a bad relationship with a guy who was abusive. So if your job is making you unhappy and you are feeling like your soul is dying, you should leave as soon as possible. Do not feel guilty about the workload or the others that you leave behind. You have to take care of yourself and your own happiness. And if you want to feel guilty about something, you should feel guilty about allowing yourself to be miserable and not live out your dreams. 25 ways to say I quit. 1. Phoning a goodbye. 2. Texting is always great. 3. Ghosting is used by daters. 4. Emailing is now old school too. 5. Go on a vacation and make it permanent. 6. Go out for lunch and never come back. 7. Start your own business and poach your own companies. Yes, take the crew with you. 8. Walk out. 9. Pass out invitations to your party. When they get there, tell them it's your going away party that you threw for yourself. 10. Instead of a 2 weeks notice, I give you a 2 day notice as a 2 day notice, TODAY. So this is the question and answering segment. The first question is, why did you write this book? This book was written in 2015, but it wasn't published until a little bit later than that, maybe around 2018. But this book was written, um, and it's funny because now it's 2021 and everybody has decided to quit their jobs. I think that it's so funny because everything that I've written in this book is actually happening. People are actually doing it. I don't attribute it to my book, and maybe it is attributed to my book because I have written several books about working environment, how hostile the working environment is, and how negative working is, and how it's anti-universe for someone to have a job. So this book is a series. It's in a series, I'm sorry. This is one of the books in a series called Quit Your Job series, where I've written books, including my very first book that I wrote at the job. Thank you for listening to this book reading excerpt by the author. I appreciate your attention. This book and other books can be found wherever you purchase your books. This book is available in paperback as well as Kindle form. It can be found at Amazon.com under the author's name, Tanya Hunter. Thank you.